So I'm also taking the API testing classes in the morning, Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 9:30. That class is already, end of the class. So I will start the new batch of API testing, and the performance testing class is, on last week I have started. So performance testing class is generally Saturday, Sunday, 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, right? Afternoon, right? And half an hour for the doubt session. If you have any doubts, you can continue this call after 2 o'clock and you can ask me the question, right? If you don't have any query, then you can quit the call, right? So every end of the class, I will provide you the recording session, right? So when the class will get ended, you will see the recording session get dumped into the group. You can see it here. So you can go and watch that recording session, right? So one thing, and the second thing, every Saturday, Sunday, at Sunday end of the day, I will provide you the document. What are the topics I have covered? All the things will mention in that document, right? And third point, in between our classes, we will discuss the interview question also. I will not discuss the interview question at the end of the course. Okay, because if I discuss end of the course, then it's a lot more interview question, right? So that's why we will in between the classes, complete the topics. We will also discuss the interview question parallelly. Okay, and the other point is I will also provide you the interview question document, right? And if you have any query, then you can message me anytime in the Skype. And one more thing, guys, because it's very tough to coordinate with everyone, right? Bipin, you can rejoin the call. I think everyone can see my screen. Guys, everyone can see my screen or not?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
I think Bipin, you can rejoin the call. You can see the screen. So the next point is I would also like to request you during the class you can mute your audio, right? So that the background noise will not come out, right? And we can take the class in proper way, right? And the last point, one thing, because let's suppose we have some update regarding the class or regarding the document, anything regarding the performance testing. I want to update that thing, right? So either I will share you one WhatsApp group link where you can add you can add your number there. Either what you can do, you can install the Skype in your mobile, right? So that whenever I drop the message in the Skype, you will get the notification. You will see that message because everyone has installed the Skype in his, I think, machine or laptop, right? So when I'm, dropping any message regarding the class, you can't see that message actually because the Skype in your laptop or in your machine. So I'd recommend also install the Skype in your mobile, right? So that whenever you have anything, whenever I have anything, I can update in the group so that you can look at that notification using your mobile. Or you have any query, then you can use your mobile and drop the message on Skype. Because on Skype I'm always available. I will try to respond. Okay, clear, guys? Agree with all the point? It's not very tough, is it? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Because something what happened. Let's suppose I will start the class 15 minutes later, right? But you have not. Give me a second. I have one call. It is all the network issue. Okay, everyone can see my screen and watch the recording. Okay, yeah, you can rejoin. Yeah, sorry guys. One person are trying to connect with me. Then he is not able to see the class. Okay. Anyway, so all are agree with this point. Let's suppose I have some update, like I will start the class 5 minutes more, late or 5 minutes earlier, so that I can drop the message in one group, so that you will get all get the latest information, right, regarding the class. So that's why I told you, try to install the Skype in your machine so that you can get all the things. And one last thing which I'm humbly requesting to you all, right? You are paying the money for me, right? So always try, yeah, emergency is fine, but always try to attend the class, because it's 2 hour classes, more than 2 hour classes. If you miss any of the class, you will miss lot of topics. You will miss lot. It is not only half an hour class you can cover, right? It's 2 hour classes. So if I in 2 hour class I will cover a lot of things, right? So make sure you will not miss any of the class. And one more thing, please do the practice at your in base, whatever the topics I will cover in the class. Okay. Okay, one person is saying me, Suraj, hello, the screen is not visual and sound issue. Suraj, I think you have to check at your in, Suraj. I think everyone can hear me properly. So I think you have to check your Skype settings and the configuration. I think you can again rejoin and go in the network session. So guys, everyone can see my screen and the audio is clear.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Okay, so
Yes, Vikas.
Suraj, I think you are facing the issue. You can rejoin the call, right? Uh, try to make strong network so that you don't have the any issue. Okay, guys, it talks a lot. So let me start. So in the demo classes, I have explained a lot of things, right? Right. What is the performance testing? What are the types of the testing? Functional testing, non-functional testing, and the performance testing. What are the types in the performance testing? Load testing, stress testing, scalability testing, volume testing, endurance testing, right? We have discussed all the things, right? So today we'll not spend a lot of time behind that, because this thing is explained 2 times in demo class also, in regular class also, right? So I have explained all the 5 types, right? And let's move forward. Why the performance testing is very useful, this thing is also explained. Yeah, if you have not attended the demo class, you can watch the recording session. Okay. And I have explained you what is the need for performance testing tool, when we do the performance testing, what are the important phases are there, why to learn performance, why to learn JMeter, right? And how to install. I think everyone had installed the JMeter in his machine. Agree? Anyone facing any issue?
Yes, because this is Shekhar. Actually, while installing the JMeter, I'm facing one issue. So that error was unable to access jar file.
Okay. Okay, sir. Can we do the one thing, because the class is already started? So can we stay in the class at after 2 o'clock so that I can resolve your issue? Fine.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Because
Sure.
it will take time and you have to share your screen actually, right? So whoever facing any issue regarding to install the JMeter and the Java, please stay in the class after 2 o'clock, so that I will give you some time and you can resolve at your end and you can do the practice.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. No problem.
You can mute yourself, sir. So I told you to install the JMeter, we have to first install the Java, because JMeter is pure 100% Java platform. That's why it's required to install the Java also. So after installing the Java, right? After then you can install the JMeter in your machine. So after installing the, after downloading the JMeter in your machine, so you have to put your JMeter application in one directory. So let's suppose I have put it here in software application. So when you download the JMeter, it will in the jar file or any of the extension, right? So you have to unzip that file and you have to go here inside the bin folder. Inside the bin folder, you can go here. You have to find the JMeter, right? And corresponding to that, the file extension should be window batch command. Window batch command. Okay, so you have to click on the window batch command, this one. So if you double, let me close my actually I have already opened, I don't want to save, and click on the JMeter here, window batch command. Do not click on the other one, JMeter. This one you have to click, double click on this one. It will run your command and it will open the JMeter. Okay, so do not close this command. Do not close this command. You can minimize this thing. Otherwise, your JMeter will also get closed, right? And one more thing. If you daily you don't want to go to that particular folder and inside the software application and inside Apache, inside bin, so you can do one thing. Right click on that and create the shortcut. Create the shortcut. Here you can see create shortcut. So it will create the shortcut for you, right? So you can move this shortcut into your desktop here, where you want, right? So I have moved my shortcut. You can move your shortcut to desktop, right? But in my desktop, this shortcut is already there. If I collapse this thing, you can see it here. Here, can you see it here? JMeter shortcut. If I click on the this application link, your JMeter will get open. Either you can go through the bin, either you can create the shortcut and open, right? One more thing, Suraj, are you in the call? Suraj, are you in the call? Are you still you are facing issue? Hi Suraj, are you still facing issue? Suraj, you can drop the message if you are facing any issue. Suraj Ahale. I believe you are able to see my screen. Yeah, it will take one or two class to sync up with all actually. So he's trying to message something. Can you make Apache JMeter background in white color? Okay, yeah, Bipin, give me a second. I will explain that thing. Yeah. No, sir.
Yeah,
No, it
yeah, I
is not.
know how to make in white color because it is not difficult to see that visibility. White color means it, I can clearly see.
Okay, fine, no problem. Guys, you can mute. Let me continue. So after installing the JMeter, you can see the screen like background. The theme is background, right? If you want to change the thing, like someone don't like the black theme or someone like the white theme or some other, you have to go to the option at the top menu, click on the option. Here you can see look and feel, right? Look and feel. You can go and select anyone. Can you see my theme get changed? So please let me know which one is good for you so that I can use that one. This one is one more thing, and if I go and change, this one is one more thing, right? And please let me know which one is very comfortable for you. I will select that one. This one is one more thing.
I think white one, it is clearly visible each and everything.
Okay, white one. Okay.
For me, black.
Okay, I think, ma'am, majority is white one. So, yeah, in your personal machine, laptop, you can change into the white. Sorry, into the black. But for now, I'm going to use this view. Okay, because I'm taking the live classes and sharing my screen. So if I use the black, you can't see the J meter properly. So that's why I have chosen the white one. Okay. Okay, fine. So in the early class, I have told you all the basic concept. I have explained you why we need, why it is necessary, how it's affect the market, performance testing, and this is the UI of the performance testing, right? By default, you can see the test plan, right? If you click on the right click here, you can add the component. In performance testing, there are mainly 60 component there are 60 main component which we will look into that, which we are majorly using in the performance testing, right? So test plan, what did you mean by the test plan? Test plan is nothing but where we are adding, adding our thread group, listener, where we are adding our test cases, where we are adding our graphs, where we are adding, configurations, right? Inside the test plan, right, what are the things which require to do the performance testing? All the things contained inside the test plan, right? So it is the parent hierarchy, right? So that is known as a test plan. Let me go in the document, and somewhere I have mentioned what did you mean by the test plan, right? So test plan is known as a test suite. So guys, while you are doing the automation testing, have you heard about the term smoke suite, regression suite? I think you heard about that. Your
Yes.
team lead asking you, go and run the smoke suite, go and run the regression suite, go and run the
Suites.
integration suite, right? So they are asking. So what did you mean by that suite? So that suite
Collection of
contain all the element which are necessary to do your execution, right? That is means that is the collection of the sub element. In this sub element we have different elements are there, like thread group, logic controller, listener, timer. So if you are not able to understand this stuff right now, ignore, just understand only test plan. Test plan is the container, simple. Test plan is the container where we are adding the thing. Okay, just understand this concept. It is just like a container where we are adding the things. When I start explaining the things, you can easily know about that thing. Okay, I'm not forcing you. Try to understand this thing. Okay, so when we create the test plan, right, when we create the test plan, the file extension is in the .jmx. .jmx. So JMX full form is Java Management Extension, right? When we create our test plan successfully, when we save that file into your machine, so the file gets saved in the form of .jmx, that is Java Management Extension, right? So in the interview they will ask you, when you are saving your collection, when you are saving your test plan, what is the extension of that file, right? So you have to say that file extension is .jmx. It save into the jmx file. One interview question, right? Now let I have created the test plan, right? It's by default will comes. Now if you right click on that, if you right click on add, you will see thread and thread group. Thread and thread group, this thing I have already explained in the Sunday classes, but I have not spent a lot of time. In 10 minutes I have explained the things, right? So that's why I'm again explaining the thing so that we have in one sequence all the things, right? So thread users and thread group. So let me add thread group. So you can see thread group page get opened. Here you can rename the, by default it will display thread group. If you want to change the name, you can change. Let's suppose I am giving employee. You can change the name, right? You can add the comment also inside the thread group. Okay, now inside the thread group we have multiple property. The first property is number of thread. Number of thread. Second one is ramp up. Third one is the loop count. So let me explain you what did you mean by the thread group. So thread group is nothing but the test case. Inside the thread group, we are again adding the sub element, right? We are adding the sampler, we are adding the assertion, we are adding the timer, we are adding the config element, right? This is, can you tell me guys, when we are writing, we have one test suite. This is one test suite, right? This test plan is the test suite. This is your test case. So inside the test case, what you are doing? You are writing the scenario, right? You are writing the scenario to execute that particular test case. So similarly, the thread group means test case. Inside the test case, we are adding the scenario. What scenario you want to execute? Okay, inside this thread group, we have three property which is majorly used in the JMeter and which is very, very important. The first one is number of thread, ramp up period, and loop count. And I will also explain this one right now. Please ignore. Okay. Now, thread group is okay. Now, what did you mean by the thread? Thread means thread means user. Thread means user, right? So I told you that I want to test the make my trip application. Make my trip application. So to test the make my trip application, how I can do the performance testing? I have to apply one scenario, then second user, then third user, 100 user, 1000 user, then 10,000 user use the application, right? So I'm increasing the number of user in the make my trip, right? To check the performance issue, right? So similarly, the thread means users. Thread means user. If I pass one, then one means one user will hit the server. If I pass here three means three user will hit your server. Hit your make my trip. If I pass 4, that means 4 user will hit your server. If I pass 10, that means 10 user will hit your server. If I pass 1000, that means 1000 user will hit your server. Ma'am, don't worry, I will cover each and everything. Don't worry. So try to explain the things in the systematic way so that you can, grab the things easily in simple way. If I explain the things, all the things in one shot, then you will get collapse, right? So try to explain the things, based on my experience, like so that you can easily grab the things, right? You can't forget the things, right? I will not miss any of the point. Okay. So 100 thousands means thousands user will hit the server. If I pass 3000, now tell me guys, what did you mean by 3000 here?
Virtual user.
Yes.
3,000 are going to hit the site.
3,000 user hit the server. If I pass 10,000, what did you mean by the 10,000? So 10,000 means 10,000 user will hit your server. Clear, right? Now, I will not explain ramp up and loop count right now. Okay, I will cover, but not right now. Simple is understand. This is ramp up and this is loop count. Okay, I will explain this thing later on. Okay, now I have changed the thread group name, and let me change the as a one. Okay, now I have added the thread group. Inside the thread group, so guys, tell me where you have to add thread group. Tell me.
On the test plan.
Inside the test plan. Here you can see, you will see the test plan. If you click on the thread group, you will can't see that option, right? So you have to right click on the test plan, and then you can see the thread user, and then you have to add thread group. So in your mind, one question you have, or in the interviewer, they will ask you one question that inside one test plan, can we add multiple thread group? Yes, you can. So if I right click on that, click on add, click on thread group, you can add the multiple thread group. Let's suppose I want to add one more thread group, click on thread group. I will explain you in which case you have to use the multiple thread group. Right now, only concentrate on one. Let me remove. So select that particular thread group, click on the this icon. Okay, so click on. So it will get deleted, right? So right click on the thread group. Guys, you can mute yourself. Click on the sampler and click on the HTTP request. So now the question is, what did you mean by the sampler? Right? Sampler means what request you want to test. What request you want to test, right? So in the classes, in the earlier class, I have explained you one thing, sampler, where I have explained you that thing. Yeah, you can see sampler means what request you want to send to the server, right? What service request you want to send. So we have multiple types of the services. HTTP, that is web application. This is your web application. Make my trip. If I open ICICI Bank, so this is your web application where you are using the protocol as HTTP, right? So this is one web application. And web service. In the web service, we will discuss REST and SOAP. FTP. FTP service means file upload and download. Have you seen the feature to upload and download functionality in your application? Okay, so we will also discuss that service. File transfer protocol, SMTP, right? SMTP means mail transfer protocol, in which we will discuss how we can, send the mail and receive the mail. We can do the performance testing of that. That is known as a SMTP, right? And the database, right? These 5 sampler we are frequently using in the performance testing, and in which 70% sampler is HTTP request. 70% we are using HTTP request. Okay, now I was explaining one thing, sampler. Okay, so sampler in JMeter allow JMeter to send different types of request to a server, right? So JMeter helps using the sampler. We are sending different types of request. Okay, so in the sampler, where it's added inside the thread group, So who is the parent of the sampler? Thread group, right? Thread group is the parent of the sampler, right? Sampler means to send different types of request to a server, right? What are the different types of the request? Click on the thread group and you can see the types of the request. The first one is, which is majorly used, HTTP request, right? That is a web application request, right? That is UI application. Second one is file transfer request, where we are uploading and downloading the file. And third one is web service, that is SOAP and REST. The fourth one is SMTP. This one, SMTP. SMTP is for mail transfer protocol. These are the different types of the sampler. The fifth one, JDBC. Okay, this is for the database sampler. Okay, so in the interview, if they will ask you what are the sampler you have used in your project, right? You can confidently say, I have used the HTTP request, that is web application, web services, that is REST and SOAP, and FTP request. FTP means file transfer protocol. JDBC, that is means database services, and SMTP means mail transfer protocol, right? These files we are going to discuss in more detail, which are majorly used in the project. 97% these five are used in the real time project. Okay, so what we will do in first, we will try to make our concept clear in the HTTP request. After then we will move to the other sampler. Okay, so I have added the sampler here. Inside the thread group, we can add the multiple sampler. This is your sampler. Okay, you can see, you can change the sampler name. Here you can add the comment. Here you can add the protocols and the service name and port number and the method and the path. I think you guys not understand this thing. I'm 100% no. Sir, Kapil, I will explain you all the things. Just now I have started this course. So,
Yeah.
right, I will explain all the things, right? Try to learn the thing from basic. Okay, I will explain the max and minimum user. Don't worry.
Okay.
Because when you explain that thing, then you're, you directly jump to that topic. And I think you know something about JMeter. That's why you asked this question, right? But the person who is don't know regarding the performance testing JMeter, then when I explain the minimum and max, so he can't understand the things. Okay, don't worry, I will explain. So here you can see in the sampler, these all the component: protocol, server name, port number, and request, and the path, and the content encoding. And here you have to pass the body. I think you are not able to understand that how it is, right? Okay, make this thing very, very simple and try to explain you. I think the guys who is attending my API testing classes, he know this concept very well. So for them, it is again repeated, right? I will again explain the same concept in this class also. I think Bipin, Sahi, I think the other person like Ashok, they are already taking my API classes. So this is your application, right? This is your application, and this is your URL, your make my trip URL. Okay. Now, so guys, this is your URL. I'm copy this URL. Right. This is your URL. And when I click on the hotel, your URL gets changed. Can you see the changes in the URL? Right, your URL gets changed. Let me pass this thing here. Okay, when I click on the flight, your URL gets changed. URL get changed. Can you see the changes in the URL? Earlier it was hotel, now flight. So let me explain this thing. Right now, we know this is the URL, right? We don't know how the URL is made from. What are the components in the URL we are using? Okay, so let me explain you. This HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, right? And S means secure channel. S means secure channel. So I think, have you noticed in every project they are using HTTPS? That means your application is secure, right? If you are not using S, that means your application is not secure. Anyone can access your application. The security level is not achieved in your application, right? So this hypertext transfer protocol is known as a protocol. This HTTP is known as a protocol. Okay, this is known as a protocol. Okay, after the double slash, up to the first slash, this is known as a base URL. This is known as a base URL. This is known as a base URL, right? And host URL where your server is hosted. So host URL is equal to protocol plus URL. This is known as a host URL. Clear? Now, after the first slash, the things are known as a resource. So after the first slash, you can see the flight is there. So flight is the resource. So what did you mean by the resource? Resource means after the first forward slash. After first forward slash, known as a resource. Okay. Now give me some definition about resource. So resource means what user want. I want to book the ticket, flight ticket. So flight is my resource. I want to book the hotel. So hotel is the resource. I want to book the villas and apartment. I want to go for holiday, right? I book the villas and apartment. So this is your resource. I want to book the train. So train is resource. Inside the resource, we have sub resource also. Okay, so the main parent resource is what I want. I want flight ticket. So flight is your resource. I want hotel. Hotel is your resource. I want train. So train is one resource. I want your bus. So bus is one resource. I want cab. So cab is one resource. So when I click on the hotel, so can you notice, have you noticed one thing? your resource gets changed. Earlier it was flight, now it is hotel. If I click on the villa, so can you see resource gets changed and your host URL is same here. Host URL is not changing. Your base URL, your protocol is same here. Only your resource is changing here. Only your resource. Okay. Now, if I again click on the hotel, your resource get changed. If I click on the flight, your resource gets changed. So resource means what user want. That is a resource. If I go and check ICCI Bank, I'm taking the one banking application. Guys, if you understand this concept, then you are expert, guys. No one can explain you in very detail, right? So try to concentrate. So guys who are attending my API classes, I explained the same thing or not there. I told you 60% things are similar if you learn the JMeter or any tool, Rest Assure or Cypress or Tosca, any tool. The things are very similar there, right? Okay. Now, I'm taking one banking application example. Banking application example. Can you see, guys, tell me what is the protocol here in the ICCI application?
HTTPS.
HTTPS is the protocol, and what is your host URL?
www.iccbank.com.
www.iccbank.
Right, this is your host URL, right? The protocol plus base URL is the host URL. This is your base URL, and the whole thing is known as a host URL.
Host URL.
Right. Now, I want to not tell me what is the resource in this ICCI bank.
Present nothing.
No, based on the screen actually, the component. What are the resources here?
Business.
Business is one resource. Okay.
Personal one resource. NRI and corporate.
If I want to go to the NRI, then NRI is one business. If I go to the loan section, then loan is one resource. If I go to the Instacart loan, then loan is the parent resource and Instacart loan is the child resource. Right? If I click on that, if I click on apply now, so it will open that page. It will again call me ICCI Bank on my number. Okay, so yeah, they have used this URL. So if you go out here, let me get 1 second. If I click on the personal, so here personal is one resource after the double slash, and now if I'm clicking on deposit, if I click on the deposit, can you see there are multiple resources? Personal banking, then after that investment, then investment page. So this is all known as a resource, right? This is the resource after the first slash. Okay, now I want to book the ticket. What I'm doing here, I'm selecting here Mumbai to Delhi in the date of 23. And I clicking on the search button. I clicked on the search button. I click on the search button. Guys, can you see the URL here? It looks like long URL, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So now you have specify the things. Okay, up to here it's clear, right? So can you see it here? Flight is one resource. Inside the flight, I click on the search, right? So search is one resource. This is sub resource, the child resource. Flight is the main resource and search is the child resource, right? And can you see it here? Question mark and the key name itinerary, and then is equal to Bank of India. Sorry, BOM means Mumbai. Sorry, Mumbai code, right? So what action we have did it here? Mumbai. So that's why it's showing Mumbai and Delhi. DEL. I want to book the flight 14 July. You can see 14 July, Delhi, and also returning Delhi to Mumbai 23. Right. So what I'm trying to say, what you are doing here, you are searching the flight, right? So after the first question mark, can you see the question mark here? After the first question mark, that is known as a query parameter. Query parameter. Clear?
What is that,
Why
Vikas?
we are asking that query parameter? Because my query is I want to search the flight from Mumbai to Delhi in the date of 14 July and returning is 23. This is my query, right? And how you can identify after the question mark. That is your query parameter. Okay, so now the same thing there I have to map here. Before that I want to explain you this method. I'm sorry guys who are already attend my API classes, because for them 15 minutes I will again explain the API concept. For them it's same thing, right? Okay, because we are using the same concept here, that's why. Now if I inspect this element, go and inspect, right click on inspect, right? Let me open make my trip again. If I right click on inspect, and go to the network section and again hit this API. So what happened when I hit this URL in the browser, they make my trip connecting with the server. It's connecting with the server and trying to connect with the server and display the response, display the page. So when you click on the network section, you can see what are the action the make my trip had did. So you can see the make my trip call this URL www make my trip, and they have used the get method, and the status code is 200. Okay. Before that I want to explain you one thing, that is web service. What did you mean by the web service? Okay guys, give me a second. Let me call to the person who has not joined. Give me a second guys, because I don't want to miss anyone. It's for everyone. The class is very important. In the next class guys, I would request, so please attend the class at hardly 7 so that we can save our time. Give me a second. Let me call to the person who has not joined quickly. Guys, you can mute yourself. Okay, guys, do not miss any classes. Okay, try to attend all the class. And guys, you can mute yourself, please. Okay, guys, you can mute yourself. Okay, now, guys, before I switch to the performance testing, I want to explain you one very important concept. If you explain that concept, performance testing is very easy for you. I can guarantee, right? So try to concentrate on this topic. Let me go up and try to explain the web service concept. Web service concept. Okay. So I want to explain you one thing by drawing one picture. Draw.com. Guys, you can mute yourself, please. I would like to request you, please mute yourself and do not leave the class. Open the existing diagram. So free and create the new one, blank, and create. I'm trying to create the diagram here. Yes. And create. Okay. So I want to explain you one thing. I am hungry. I am hungry. I want to go to the hotel and I want to take the food. I want to take the food. So this is me, Vikash Kumar. Okay, this is me. I am hungry, right? I went to the hotel. This is the hotel, right? This is your hotel or restaurant, right? And inside the restaurant, we have the kitchen counter. We have the kitchen counter, right? I want to take the food. I'm hungry, right? So what I'm doing here, I come to the kitchen. I come to the kitchen and order the food here. I order the food, right? This is your kitchen. This is your kitchen, right? You order the food. When your food is ready, you again take your food and come to your seat. Come to your seat, right? So guys, this thing is not hectic, right? You go and make the queue, and then when your number comes, then you can give the order. Then you have to again, when your order get ready, then you again come to the counter. Then again you are taking the food, and again you are going to your seat and taking your food, right? So it's like something hectic. Some people don't like that. So what I will do, I will implement one waiter here. I will implement one waiter here. So what waiter will do, when I insert into the hotel, right, and take the table, this waiter come to my seat and he's asking me that how I can serve you, sir. Then I'm feeling very proud. Someone, come to my seat and he's asking how can I help you, right? Then you are asking that I want burger, pizza, and hot dogs, right? You have given your order. So what happened? This waiter come to the kitchen and give your order to the chef and asking to the chef, please prepare this food for this particular table, right? When your food is ready, he is the chef, the kitchen chef, busy in your, start making your food. When the food is ready, then waiter again come to the kitchen and take the food and again serve that food to that particular table. So what is the role of waiter here? He is making the communication between the customer and the kitchen. Can I say the waiter is the mediator between the table, between the customer and the kitchen? Yes, right. So let me use the technical term. This is application 1. This is application 1 and this is application 2. Application 2. So what waiter is doing? Waiter communicating with application 1 and application 2 and it establishing the connection between these two applications. So that is known as a web service. That is known as a web service. Right. Let me take one simple example. If I want to book the ticket from Mumbai to Delhi and I clicking on the search button, can you see inside the search button we have multiple response from different company with different fare and time. This is Go First. Go First is a new airline. I first time seeing that one. Go First. Great, yeah. Go First. So Go First is one airline. Indigo, SpiceJet, Air India, Go First. So every Indigo, every airline company having the different fare and time for this result. So how did you think that Make My Trip making the communication with this company? With this company, guys, the guys who are already attend the API class, do not leave the class because after few time I will switch to the JMeter section. Okay, so do not quit the class. It's also revising your thing. Okay, so I will draw one more diagram here. I will draw one more picture. Make my trip. Make my trip, and I will try to create the different company. Right. So this is your Indigo. This is your Air India. This is your what company? Sahara. Let's suppose Sahara, and this is your SpiceJet. This is the SpiceJet. So let me establish the connection. How I can establish the connection? Let me establish the connection. So I am establishing the connection between the Make My Trip and airline company. Give me a second. Let me establish the connection. Guys, sometimes theoretical concept is very important to understand the basic concept. So that's why I'm not directly explaining you the JMeter. If I explain this thing, then you can easily understand the concept and very fast. Yeah, I have established the connection. Now, what you are thinking that how Make My Trip communicating with this flight company, this airline company. Right. So the first probability is this airline company, Air India, SpiceJet, Sahara, provide the access of his database and asking to the Make My Trip, go and fetch your data. Whatever your query is, go and access my data and you can do the access. So guys, is this feasible scenario to do that? No, because no third party, no company will allow the third party to access his application. Let's suppose I have the banking account in my ICICI bank. This is the Indian bank, right? No one, I have the account in ICICI bank. Can I allow you to look into my account? No, I will never give you the permission, right? Because if I allow you, you can transfer the money, you can see my balance, you can do anything, right? Because you have the access of my ICICI bank, right? So similarly, this flight company will not give the access to his database to look into that. So this scenario is totally failed. Totally failed. Right? Now, second scenario. What this flight company is doing, this flight company, Air India, SpiceJet, Sahara, they are creating one web services. They are creating one web services. Right? They are creating one web services and asking to this third party, if you need any information, go and connect with my web service. Go and connect with my web service. Right? He will provide you all the information. So what this Indigo company will do, he will create one web service, right, and asking to the third party company, if you want any information, you don't have to directly come to me, you can use my service, they will provide you all the information what you want, right? So what is the role of web service here? He is making the communication with Indigo and the Make My Trip. When Make My Trip, let's suppose searching the data, click on the search. What he will do, he will connect with the web service, all the different company web service, right? And then this web service connecting to the Indigo, and based on the data which Make My Trip want, they will display the result. They will display the result and they will pass the result to the web service, and web service pass the information to the Make My Trip. So this web service is the mediator between the two party. You can say as a broker. This is the broker between the two applications who is making the communication, who is establishing the communication, right? So that is the web service. Clear? Okay, now come to here. Now come to here. I have explained you the web service. Web service is available over the web, over the internet, right? So I think you have seen that Amazon Web Service, GCP service, cloud service, right? So what they are using, they are created one web service. Let's suppose weather web service. They have created one weather service, environment weather service, right? And I want to use that web service, right? So I have to purchase that web service from that particular company. I want to use the web service. I want to use web service, your web service, so that I don't have to implement, right? So they have to available over the web or internet so that everyone can use. The web service is the method of communication between the application, which I have told you. Same thing I have written in the document. Enable the communication. It's enable the communication between the application, right? Platform independent. This is one concept, platform independent. What did you mean by the platform independent? Let's suppose this Make My Trip is built in Java using the Oracle database. Okay, and Indigo is built in C# using the what happened? Using the SQL database, and Air India is built in in .NET. Let's suppose using the MongoDB database, and SpiceJet is built in Angular database. Sorry, Angular using the SQL. Right now, you might have questioned that how Java communicating with C#, how the Java application communicating with .NET, how Java application communicating with the Angular, right? So what they have did, they are created one mediator, web service, right? So for the web service, doesn't matter in which language your application is built in, you can establish the communication. Either it is Java, either it is .NET, either it is Angular, either it is C#, either it is in C, right? So any two language can establish the connection using the web service. Okay, that's why I have written here it is platform independent. And the last thing, so guys, tell me, what is the purpose of Make My Trip to connect with the Indigo, Air India and SpiceJet and Sahara? What is the purpose? Give me the answer. What is the purpose behind that?
To retrieve the available flights.
Okay. So can I say to exchange the data?
Yes.
Make My Trip using the Indigo, SpiceJet, Air India and Sahara data, right? And how Make My Trip getting the benefit? If I am using the Make My Trip site and book the ticket in Indigo, so Indigo will also get benefit or not along with Make My Trip, right? So both are taking the benefit, the flight companies also and Make My Trip also, right? So there is exchange of data. I am talking with you that I am also exchanging the data. I am sending my experience. I am sharing my experience with you and you are paying to me, right? So there is exchange of data, right? So the same thing I have written here in simple language. Web service, using web service, two different applications can talk each other and exchange the information. This is your client. This is the Make My Trip, and Make My Trip sending the request to the server, and server based on the request, they are passing the information to the client. There are two terms, client and server. Guys, be carefully, try to understand, because in whole testing we will use this term, right? So this Make My Trip is the client. When I click on this search, it will connect with the server, Make My Trip server, and based on the result, Mumbai, Delhi, date, it will give me the response, right? So this is your client, this is your server, and this is your web service who is making the communication. Clear? Right? This is your client, this is your server, this is your request, and this is the response. This is the basic diagram, which the guys who are already taking my API classes, they know very well. Okay, their concept is very clear. So it's just for revision for them. So don't worry, it's revision for you. But API testing is totally different from the performance testing. Yeah, we are using the concept, but it is totally different. Okay. Now, guys, this is the web service, right? But there is one question, medium. What is the medium here? So guys, when we are using Make My Trip, the protocol is the medium. So in this URL, what is the protocol here? Tell me. As per my explanation, what is the protocol here?
HTTPS.
Exactly. This HTTPS is your protocol. This is the medium Using that medium, these two client and server are connecting with us, or internet. So can you guys tell me, without internet, can I hit this server application?
No, sir.
So can I say internet is one medium?
Yes.
Yes. If my internet is not working, can I communicate with you?
No,
No.
no.
No. So protocol HTTPS is one medium and internet is one medium. The first one is internet. If your internet is working, then HTTPS is one medium. These two are the medium. Okay, who is establishing the communication? Now format. What did you mean by the format? Right. So when we connecting with the server, the client sending the request to the server in proper format. So guys, tell me, when we are in the earlier stage in 6-7 classes in secondary school, I want at that time we are taking the leaves, medical leaves, and I don't want to go to the school. So you have to communicate with your class teacher. Then how you are communicating with your class teacher that you are not coming? You are writing one letter to your class teacher or your principal that hello sir and madam, subject line, and then your content, and at the end you are writing your sincerely, your roll number and your class, right? We are following some format, right? At the top, to sir, and then subject and the content and the your sincerely, something like that. We are following some format, right? So guys, can you tell me, while communicating with your class teacher, have you written your sincerely at the top?
No.
No. We have to follow some format. We have to follow some format here. So the same concept will apply here. When client communicate with the server, it requires the medium internet or protocol, that is HTTP, and they have to follow some format, and that format is XML and JSON. XML and JSON. XML is the markup language and JSON is the JavaScript object notation. I will explain you in coming classes. Okay, just for now, only understand this is your XML and this is your JSON, which act like as a format. Okay, now second term. In web service, we have two types of the web service: SOAP web service and RESTful web services. SOAP and REST, right? In SOAP web service, SOAP means simple object access protocol. In the format should be XML, right? Medium should be HTTP, and REST means representational state transfer. In the medium is HTTP, and we have different method: post, get, put, patch, and delete. The same method we are using here. Can you see it, guys? HTTP request and method. This is known as a method: get, post, head, put, option, trace, delete, patch, and other on. Right? So these all are known as a method. That's why before explaining to the HTTP request, I want to make the basic clear concept. I want to explain the basic concept, right? So in the RESTful API, we are using post, get, put, patch, delete as a method. And in the RESTful API, format is XML, either XML, JSON or text. But 90% chances we are using the JSON format. I will explain you what did you mean by JSON format, XML. Don't worry. Okay, now come to here. This diagram is clear for you. Agree, guys? Client is sending to the request to the server using REST or SOAP method, and it's bi-directional approach. Okay, now here, this is your application. Let's application in browser or mobile or any IoT device, right? Or like a banking application or any application, make my trip, or something like any application, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. When any application we are hitting, they sending the request using the internet and going to the APIs, connecting with the web service, and it's going to the web server, and it's taking the data from the database, and it's again give to the web server, and again it's come to the API, then again through the internet it returning the response, and user can see this thing. So this thing happening in fraction of second, in fraction of second. When you are hitting this thing, clicking on the search button, click on the search button, instantly it giving you the response. Instantly it's giving you the response. So these all are the internal flow to get the response. It connect with the internet, then it go to the API's web service, then it connect with the web server, then it connect with the database, and it will be whatever the query we are using, whatever the request we are passing, based on the request it will give the response to the web server, then it's come to the web service, then it's come to the internet, then it's return the response to you. Like that. You are thinking it's very simple, but internally these steps we are following, internally process. Okay, now SOAP web server. SOAP web server. So I am providing the bus service. Let's suppose I am the roadways, right? I'm providing the bus service. I have multiple bus, like Mercedes bus also, Volvo bus also, but their services are different. One bus is going from Delhi to Mumbai, one bus is going from Delhi to Kolkata, some bus is going from some different source and destination, right? Similarly, we have two types of this service, SOAP and REST service, right? If you are using the SOAP service, SOAP, we have to follow some protocol. We have follow some protocol, right? And it is XML base, right? XML based interface, and it is known as a web service description language, that is WSDL, WSDL. So you can see it here, client sending to the request to the server, and it is in the WSDL. So this the format is XML. You can see the format is XML. So in the XML, we have some protocols, we have some rules, we have some definition which we have to follow. Well, developer implementing the SOAP web services, they have to follow this thing, protocols, rules, and the definition, right? This is the architect of that, as a testing perspective. Envelope, header, and the body and the SOAP message. Let me explain you that thing. This is one WSDL file. Let me open this WSDL file. This is the weather WSDL file. So this is the one weather WSDL file, the graphical weather WSDL file. Can you see this WSDL file? In this WSDL file, when developer creating the SOAP services, you can see this is XML. The format is XML. So when I click this URL, it connect with the graphical weather server through the internet, through this protocol, right? Based on this, whatever we are passing here, this query parameter and the resource, they will give you the response. They will give you the response. They will connect with the server and they will give you the response. So they are following the XML format. If you are using the XML format, here they have to use SOAP service. In the SOAP, we have to follow some protocol, and that protocol is envelope. You have to pass at the top. Inside the envelope, we have header. Inside the header, we have to pass body. Okay, I think you are not able to understand. Leave it. I will explain this thing later. Okay, so this is the things. If I expand this thing, you can see it here. This is the body envelope. Can you see it here? Envelope. They have to create envelope. Inside the envelope, this is the header. After that, you have to pass the body. Inside the body, we are passing the property. What property you want to pass, like employee first name, last name, street, city name. And then again, you have to follow that hierarchy using the close tag, right? So what I'm trying to say, in the XML, we are using the WSDL, WSDL, using the XML. Okay, now let's comes to the RESTful. 90% company nowadays, they are using the RESTful web service. RESTful web service. Okay, RESTful means representational state transfer. In RESTful APIs, we are using the JSON, JavaScript object notation. JavaScript, here we are using XML, right? But in RESTful, we are using JSON. So let me show you. This is the architect of the RESTful API. RESTful API. This thing I have already explained you. Uniform interface, resource, URL, and HTTP, which we have used here, which I have already explained you. And this is the stateless cacheable layer system that I will explain you later on. Do not worry. Okay, let me show you one. Let me show you one RESTful API. So I have one RESTful API. This is one free RESTful API which is available on the internet. Okay, let me provide you this URL for the practice purpose. Let me pass this URL. Okay, one person asking me that APIs and web service are different. No, sir. APIs and web service both are different, not both are same. Web service, API is the part of web service, right? API is the part of web service. Okay, in the web service, we have different types of the services. API, SOAP service, REST service, right? Database service, right? So we have multiple web service, and API is the part of that web service. And inside the APIs, we have multiples, right? REST API, SOAP APIs are there. That I will explain you. Don't worry. Okay. Now, this is one RESTful API. So guys, I will open one Postman tool. Postman tool, if you go to the Google Chrome and type Postman download, Postman download, you can download the Postman from here. Download the app, right? Postman app. So I will provide you this Postman app, but we are not going to use this thing in JMeter. Just for the reference, I am explaining you. I have provided the URL of the Postman, okay, where you can download the things, Postman, right? In my machine, I have downloaded. Let me explain you what is the Postman. So to do the API testing, API means application programming interface. API means application programming interface. We have two types of API, REST API, SOAP API, right? So we will discuss the REST API. In the REST API, we are using JSON format. In the SOAP API, we are using XML. Clear? So to do the testing, to do the API testing in the market, we have different tools are available. Tools for the API testing, for the API testing. API testing. So if I go here, you can see there are different tools are available in the market to do the API testing, right? So you can see it here, the Postman, which is majorly guys, my voice is not clear.
No, clear.
So
Clear.
Mohan, I think check your network. I think at your end there is something issue. Please go and check your network, because everyone able to hear my noise. Okay. Now Postman is, guys, I'm giving only high level things, right? I'm not going into the detail because this is not part of the course, because we have to learn the JMeter. But to learn the JMeter in very deep knowledge, very 100%, that's why I'm giving you some high level. If you know this thing, then you can easily understand the JMeter actually. That's why. Okay. So you don't worry, you don't have to go in the deep actually. So to do the API testing in the market, we have multiple tools are available. That is REST API, REST Assure, Postman. The Postman, which is majorly used in the market. Using the Postman tool, you can do the manual testing, you can do the automation testing as well. So which I am already taking the class of Postman, API testing using Postman, right? Which I am already taking the batch, okay, separate course. And SOAP UI, JMeter, using JMeter also you can. Karate and Tosca, right? We are different tools are available. So in the industry, most of the person, they are using the Postman as for the API testing, because it is easy to integrate and map. Okay. Now come to here. This is your requirement to create the user. Create the user. Okay. So this is the get method. This is the post method. This is put and patch. This is the Postman UI. Here you can add the collection. This is your collection. Okay. If you click on the collection, you can add your collection. Click on the plus icon, you can add your collection. Okay. If you click on the plus icon, here you can add the request. Same thing we are doing in the JMeter. If you right click and click on add, here you can add the HTTP request. Here we are in the Postman, we are clicking on the plus icon to add the request. So you can see it here. There are multiple methods are available, which you can also see it here. in the JMeter? Can you see? Get, post, head, put, option, trace, delete, patch. There are multiple methods. Same thing here. Get, post, put, patch, delete. Okay. Now discuss the one thing. What is this method means? So get method is used to fetch the data from the server. Get method is used to get the data from the server or download the data from the server. So let me show you. When I'm trying to let me click on the flight. Let me click on the flight. Inspect this element, right click on the inspect, go to the network section. If you click on this icon, it will clean. Your console will get clean. And again hit this URL. Again hit this URL. You can see the navigation. Can you see it here? So guys, I want one basic answer from you guys. Right now, what action I am trying to do? I am fetching the data or creating the data or deleting the data. What action I am trying to do it here? When I clicking on the flight.
Fetching the data.
Sorry?
Fetching the data.
I am trying to fetch the data. So can you see it here? The request method is get. That means using get method, you can fetch your data. You can download your data. Now, tell me again. Let me clear this thing again. I am clicking on search button. Let me search the flight 16 and 17. And let me clear this thing. I am clicking on the search button. I clicked on the search button. Now guys, tell me what is the action here? What action I have did here? I fetch the data or created the data or I have updated the data or deleted the data?
Fetched data only.
Fetching the data.
I am fetching the data. So if you go to the here search itinerary, can you see this call going to the server? Right? Can you see the method here? Get method. Right? So that means I am trying to download the data. I'm trying to fetch the data. I'm trying to access the data. So that is the get method. Clear? Get method is used to fetch your data. Right? Now, if you want to create any data in your application, in that case, you have to use post method. In that case, you have to use post method, right? If you are trying to update your data, let's suppose you have already created data and you want to replace your data with new property, then you have to use put method. I will explain you the example also. First, try to understand the definition. Patch method. Patch method, when you are trying to update the data, existing data, we are using the patch method. When you are trying to delete your data, it will call the delete method. Let's suppose I went to the bank. I am Vikas Kumar Shah and I went to the bank and I am asking to the bank employee that I want to open the account. So what he is doing, he is taking my all the detail, my first name, my last name, my date of birth, my marital status, and my address detail, all the things. And what he will do, he will create the data. Now guys, tell me which method it will call. Which method it will call? It will call to the post method, right? Now, after creating the data, he tried to download the data. After creating the application, my banking application, State Bank of India application, he want to download my application. So which method it will get called in the backend? Get method. Guys, you can mute. Get method. And after some time, after 3 to 4 days, 5 days, 10 days, 1 month, I realized that I am not getting the notification in my mobile number. So I went to the bank and asking to the bank employee, sir, I'm not getting any notification when I'm doing any action in my bank account. Then he's asking to you that your mobile number is wrong. So guys, tell me, is bank employee will create the new account for that particular person, or he will update the mobile number for the existing account?
Update the mobile number.
Update the mobile number. So he will use patch method or right in the backend. Right in the backend, when client connects with the server, it will use the put or patch. Now, after 3 to 4 years, I realized that I am not using this account. I don't have that much of balance. I don't want to continue this account. I want to delete. So I again went to the bank and asking to the bank employee that please delete my account. So which method it will get called?
Delete.
Delete. In simple language, any issue? Clear?
Yes.
So guys, I am not directly explaining you to the J meter. Right? If you directly explain you the J meter, then you can't understand. Right? Some of the person thinking that instead of explaining the J meter, why you are explaining the other stuff, postman and all the API services and all the stuff, because the things are related, guys. That's why. Okay. Some of the trainer, what we will do, he will directly come here and explain you the J meter. This is getter, and here you have to pass URL, and here you have to pass URL. They will not, differentiate the thing. They will not explain the things in proper way. Okay. Now, this is your API. Okay. So what I will do, I will use this URL. I will go to the request. This is your URL, and I will try to fetch the data from this server. This is your server, go rest. HTTP go rest.coin. This is your application. From this application, you want to access the user. What are the user inside this application? So guys, tell me, what is this?
Protocol.
Okay, protocol. What is this?
URL.
Not URL.
Base
This is
URL.
the host URL.
Yeah,
Base
host
URL
URL.
after the double slash. Okay, up to first slash. Okay, now after the double slash, what is this? Sorry, first slash. Resource. So guys, before that, before explaining the things, can you know this thing? We only know this is URL, but we can't specify the things, right? Same concept we will use here in JMeter. Okay, so I want to access the user. Okay, I will use the get method and try to call. Can you see the response? So this is the JSON. JSON will display as a key and key and value. Inside we have one pagination. Inside total is one key and value. Page in one key and value. Inside that data is one object. Inside the data we have name and the person name is Lal About, and email one is key and the person value. We have gender. What is the gender of that person? Female. And what is the status? Active or inactive. So similarly we have multiple person inside this application, inside this users, right? So this is key value pair and this is in the JSON, right? So XML will looks like that. XML will looks like that. Close tag, open tag and close tag, and they have to follow some hierarchy format, envelope, heady and the body. So that's why it's, you know, it's tough to read, is tough to read. So guys, tell me, can you read this thing easily, this XML? Guys, you can mute yourself. Can you read this thing easily?
It's a little bit difficult.
Exactly. So, but if you look at the JSON, it's simple. Say there is one parent data. Inside that parent, inside the object, we have ID and name property. Inside the name, we are passing this value. We have email. Inside the email, we are passing this value. Inside gender, we are passing this value. Simple concept. Okay. Guys, in tomorrow class, I will discuss the JMeter stuff. Okay, so do not miss the, because I have explained you the API concept. I will finish up in this class, and in tomorrow class I will try to explain the JMeter component. Okay, so do not miss that class. 12 to 2 o'clock. Please be on time. Okay, continue. Now, name and the property. Name and the property, right? Now, I want to create the data. What I have to use? I want to create the user. I will go and select the post method. And I will go select the body and raw. Inside that you have to select the JSON body, and then you have to pass the what are the data you want to create. This is your data you want to create. So I'm going to pass this data. Let me remove the ID because ID is generated by your server, and let me pass the name here, Vikas 123, and my ID is vikasa@gmail.com. gmail.com. Okay, and status is active. Let's suppose active. Okay, and I am trying to create. So it's showing me authentication failed. Because I have to pass the token to create the data. So if I go here inside the application and somewhere, yeah, here you can see, click here to generate the token, right? It will ask you authentication required. So go to the Google or simply go to the Gmail and try to log in and get back to your authentication. So this is your authentication, and I'm taking this authentication. Go to the authorization go to the bearer token and pass this thing. In the API classes, testing class, I have explained this thing very detailed. So don't worry. I'm trying to connect. Can you see I'm able to create the data? Data get created, right? Now I want to see data is successfully get created or not. So what call I have to use? Get call, right? I will use get and pass the employee ID. What is the employee ID? 1264. Pass it here. 1264 and call. Can you see I'm able to get the data? Can you see it here, guys? I have used get method. After creating the data, I have used get method to see my data get downloaded, right? Using get method. Now I want to delete the data. What I have to use? Delete method. And I will use as this URL and I will go here and pass this thing and I will try to delete your data. Authentication fail. I have to pass the token here actually. So go and select the bearer token and pass the token. Now data get deleted. 204 no content. Right. When I again call the get method. So guys, can you see it here? Can you see on the screen? First I have created the data and then I have downloaded data to confirm, right? After then I deleted the data and again I am trying to get the data. You can see data get deleted from your database and you are getting 404 not found, right? So this concept is clear. Get method, post method, put and patch and delete. So we are going to use this 5 method majorly: get, post, put, patch, and delete. Okay. Now let me explain the guys. One more thing. Whoever has not did the payment, right? Please do the payment, right? Because it's already 1 week and please today end of day, please do the payment. I will share the account detail again. You can please do the payment and every end of the class you will get the recording session. When I click on end call, you will see the recording session in the chat group, right? You can watch that recording session. Okay. So in tomorrow class, we will discuss the J meter, right? We will try to use Make My Trip or any other application, how you can do the performance testing of any application, right? So in tomorrow class, we will start learning about the J meter. In this class, I have given you the basic concept of the services, right? And day by day, when we finish the class, I will provide you all the detail. Clear, guys? Any question? Did you have any question? If you have any question, then let me know. The class is Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 2 o'clock. Every end of the class, you will get the recording session. And do not miss any of the class because it is 2-hour classes. Do not miss the class and install the Skype in your machine, in your mobile, right? So that you can get the notification. You don't have to open the laptop. Okay. And please also do the payment who has not did the payment. Okay. Yes, guys. If you have any query, then let.
Yes. Can you show how can you open the Postman? I just downloaded it and I don't know.
Okay. So you downloaded the Postman?
Yes.
You install the Postman?
No.
Can you, okay, can you share your screen? Guys, the class is already over. If you have any query, then you can stay. In our class, we will not use the Postman, but as a, testing perspective, I have explained you, right? Because in the Postman, easy to explain, right? But most of the, in IT industry, most of the person, they are using the Postman to do the API testing, the RESTful API testing. Yeah,
Because
yes, sir. Yeah. Go
I
to
have
the
a small
Postman
doubt.
app. Give me a second, sir. Let me sort out this issue. After then you can. Is that fine?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
In the contents?
I think you have installed wrong thing. Go to the again where you download your Postman. Go to your browser where you have installed the Postman. Yeah. Click on that.
Here?
Okay, give me a second. Okay, you have clicked on that. Okay,
Yes.
go to the where your Postman is installed. Okay, go to that. Are you using Windows or Mac or something else?
Windows 10. Windows 10.
Okay,
Windows 10. Windows 10.
okay, fine.
Here is
So
download.
where is your zip file, sir? Where is your zip file of Postman?
Here.
Okay, fine. Yeah, go ahead. Go and open. Not this one, unzip file.
Unzip file?
Yeah, unzip file.
Here, this, no?
At the top, unzip. Yeah. Open this one. Yeah, open. Content. Okay, give me a second. So they have changed something. Go to the framework. Give me a second, sir. Actually, they have changed the things. Give me a second. Download. Okay, after downloading the Postman. Okay, so which one you have selected, sir? 32-bit or 64-bit?
64.
Okay, you have installed 64. Give me a second. 64-bit. Give me a second. So okay, go to the where you are. Give me a second. Go to the browser.
Here?
Single click on this orange icon. Single click. Yeah.
This?
Single click. Yeah. Click on 64. Yeah.
Okay.
Click on.
Yes, it's downloaded.
Okay. Now try to install this thing. Okay.
Okay.
So in the meantime, you can download. I can discuss with some other person. Yes, sir. Someone having the question.
Yeah, it's me, Tulsi. I have a doubt how to rename the thread group name. Twice I didn't see that when you were.
Okay. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Sir, your problem is resolved or not? The Postman. Here you can see the Postman 64. Here, go so in folder. Yeah. Go.
Yes, it's installing now.
Installing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Start.
after installing, you can see the UI of the
Yes.
Postman,
Yes.
right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me share my. Guys, the class is already over. This session, like if you have any query, then you can continue this call. If you don't have, you can leave the call. Okay. So, do you want to rename the thread group?
Thread group.
So, yeah, right click on the test plan. Here you can add the thread group, correct?
Yeah.
And let's suppose I am renaming this thing as a flight resource. Okay, click on that.
Is
It
it?
get renamed.
I
Can you
have
see
done
it?
the same way, but it is not reflected to me.
Okay,
Shall I?
if it is not reflected, then right click and add the sampler, then it will get changed. I think try to do that. I think you have to somewhere click on any of the element, it will get saved actually. Try to do some action after changing the name.
Yeah, after changing the name, I have clicked outside of that name field. And then, okay, let me add. I guess.
Otherwise, you can share me the screen. I will try to do that.
Yeah, after adding the something, now it got changed.
Fine, clear.
Yeah, fine.
We have to do
After
some
adding
action
the
there actually. After that.
yeah, after adding the request, it got changed. Earlier, it not changed for me
Yeah,
when.
it's not like you have to only add the request. You have to do any action. It's something like issue from the JMeter side. If you are clicking outside, it will not get reflected.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Hi, Vikash, this is Kritika. Can I go ahead? I just have issue. Yeah, I have issue installing my JMeter. Thing is, I have installed and I've extracted here also. And okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead. One person also facing the issue while installing the JDK and JMeter.
Okay.
I don't know. He left the call or he is still in the call. Yeah, madam, you can go ahead.
Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, it's loading.
Okay.
Okay, before that, can you show me the version of Java?
Okay. It is Java. Are you able to see my screen, Vikash?
Yeah.
Oh, it is some. This will not support, right? I think the this is old.
Yeah, try to install the more than 8 version.
Okay, then I can. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the issue. It's stopping the JMeter might be.
Yeah, I believe so. That
okay, then let me uninstall and try it again.
Yeah, you can uninstall and try to install. If you go to the Google Chrome and type JD Java, download Java. I will show you the. Yeah, click on.
Okay.
Yeah, click on the first one or second one, any of them.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Is this link or should I go back and?
Here you can also, but if there is any other, then you can click on the other one.
Okay, let me open the. So here, should I do for SC16 or 11 is fine?
11 is fine. I think it is a stable version. You can use JDK this one.
Okay. So I should uninstall and then do this, right? I can't have multiple Java versions, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you can uninstall first and then install.
Okay. Okay, sure.
And let me know. Okay.
Yeah,
Any
sure.
other question, guys?
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When I create the icon for Postman, he asked me create your own team URL.
Okay, can you share your screen quickly?
Yes, quickly, right now.
Guys, if you don't have any query, then you can leave the call. Otherwise, you can continue. Or if you want to listen the query, okay. It's also recording actually.
So.
Okay.
I actually create the icon.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Continue as a team. At the bottom, you can see one continue as a team. Yeah, click on that. Right, and then yeah, click on the workspace. Yeah, click on my workspace. Yeah, fine. Here you can add your collection and add your request.
Okay.
Clear, sir?
Okay.
If you click on the plus icon, you can add your collection, and inside the collection you can add your request. Yeah, you can give some name, and inside the collection you can add the request. Yeah. Any other question, guys? No? Okay, can we leave this call then? We can end this call then, if you don't have any query. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. We will meet in the same time, 12 to 2 o'clock, and please be on time. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.